expect the unexpected.
I'm going to ask something that I've never heard asked for in a den before.
Have you got your lucky underpants?
In a night of revelations,
Every business needs somebody in the background to clear up the dog poo.
Whoa!
as hearts flutter,
I'm a single 28-year-old guy trying to find a girlfriend.
My daughter's out the back.
and pulses race.
Ooh, too good they want you.
Yeah, I know.
But as some meet their perfect match,
You are the most credible 24-year-old that's ever walked through those doors.
My man's going to love this.
and others face heartbreak.
That's a nightmare.
It was an absolute nightmare.
Boy, do I feel for you.
One thing is for certain. Tonight will be an affair to remember.
That was a moment.
Welcome to Dragon's Den, where multimillionaire investors come face to face with aspiring entrepreneurs. There's plenty of cash on the table for the right ideas, but those that get the pitch wrong will leave empty-handed. First to face off with the Fiery Five is 24-year-old Mark Wong, who left his native Hong Kong to study at a young age.
I came over to the UK when I was 13, alone with my brother, and my parents stayed back home, and being the only Asian kid in school was pretty difficult.
As the years passed, Mark picked up some valuable skills that helped him to fit in.
There was one thing I didn't know. If you know how to make a cocktail, how to brew a beer, you'd get invited to parties.
Bit of a...
Looks like beer.
Well,
Well, it's got hops in it.
What's hops?
Hops are what they make beer. What they make beer out of.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
Hi, I'm Mark, the founder of Impossible Brew, and I'm here today seeking an investment of £45,000 in exchange for 10% of my beer alternative company. I love beer, but because of my health, I had to stop 2 years ago. Since then, I'm on an impossible mission to find a healthier alternative to alcohol for when you don't want to drink, but still want to unwind with a pint. I found the solution when I went back home to Asia, where I discovered a whole new world of functional plants in which my ancestors would brew teas with for their relaxing medicinal benefits. Inspired by this, I began brewing my own beer using these ingredients, and after 2 years, the Impossible Brew Lager was born. It has only 49 calories per bottle and is packed full of active nutrients that support relaxation without drowsiness. I brewed a limited batch of 4,000 and released it to the public in March this year. To my surprise, it sold out within 12 weeks, and our sales are doubling every single month during that time. Thank you for your time, and I welcome any questions you may have.
A new beer for the no and no alcohol market that also aids relaxation is the proposition from Mark Wong.
Tastes lovely.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Really tastes good.
He's looking for £45,000 in return for a 10% stake in his business.
You know, I don't really like beer. I can probably sit and drink that whole glass, and do you know what? For 49 calories, I might let myself drink the whole glass.
The locale lager has hit the spot with Sarah Davies. But Peter Jones appears to have picked up on a potential problem with the labelling of the beers.
Mark, you say that it's non-alcoholic, but it's not, is it? Because it says 0.5%, so it's like 10% of a strong beer.
Yeah, so 0.5% in Europe is actually classified as non-alcoholic.
Wow.
It's quite odd because a ripe banana is 0.5% and a carton of store-bought orange juice is also 0.5%. So it's just that they're not required to list them.
Really? My bananas that I'm eating got alcohol in.
Yeah?
Wow. Oh, no wonder I like bananas. Just going back on your journey, health, what happened to make you stop drinking?
It was that I really liked it and I was drinking a little too much and I had markers that my liver wasn't doing very good. And from that point, I just knew, I had to stop.
You said that you sold quite a few thousand bottles since March. What's been your revenue in those 3 months?
It's about over 10,000.
Gross margin?
Gross margin is about 3,500.
So in 3 months, how much have you sold?
In the first month it was 630, second month was 2,600, and then the third month was 6,300.
Okay, and then your forecast for this year, where do you believe it's going to go?
So for this year we're looking to do 55,000 with gross profits of 20,000, and we're expecting to break even at the end of this year.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
And what is it about you that makes you think that you're going to win?
I think it's a passion that I have for this, and my adaptability. Because for me, I came over to the UK with my brother, just the two of us, when I was 13, and I knew no English. And I really just went at it, just adapted and just kept learning English, kept trying everything I can, and eventually I got a double scholarship in school and also became the first non-Caucasian head boy in school as well. And from that, it's really about this challenging the impossible.
Mark reveals his tenacious nature and fierce determination to succeed. Deborah Meaden now wants to find out about the sales strategy he's set out on.
Where have you been selling at the moment?
It's mostly online and little bottle shops here and there.
And how much is a case of 12 going to cost me?
It's $39.99.
Okay.
So this prices are as about £2.99 to £3.30 on average, but later on it will be £2.49.
And what is an average price on an alcohol beer?
Yeah, the average price is about £1.50 to £1.70. And if on the premium end, it hits about £2.
So you're still above the premium end?
Yeah.
After a solid start, the beer pitch has gone somewhat flat, as the Dragon's probing reveals the product's expensive price point. Tuka Suleiman is keen to find out what Mark's expecting a Dragon to deliver.
Mark, Tuka, you're for an investment. What is it that you're going to need from us?
Yeah, it's mainly distribution and the contacts. So at the moment, we're really lasering down our focus online. But we're in talks with some retailers.
Give me 3 retailers you want to be in.
We want to be in Waitrose.
Yep.
We want to be in Selfridges. And then we want to be in Sainsbury's.
Okay.
Mark, who's your target market?
It's actually changed because of data that we've had. At the beginning, we thought it's about 18 to 25. That was what everyone expected. But it actually turns out to be the 35 to 44s that are the most receptive to the product.
I wouldn't for one moment think that that's a product for an 18 to 25-year-old. Why did you think that? I find that intriguing.
It seems to be that 18 to 24s, what at least from research normally shows, is that they tend to not drink as much. And I didn't know whether I was right, so I went and tested it with the first batch. And that was when I was proven wrong.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, though, what made you think that in the outset? For me, that's almost a bit of common sense. I'm going to say where I am, Mark, because I think that you pitch really well. However, your price point is your issue. When you have a conversation with the buyer at Waitrose to launch this product, you're going to find that this is a 2-for-1 offer immediately.
Could I say something?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, for me, that's what we're really focusing on online at the moment. We're almost exclusively not trying to get into retail at the moment. Like, say, even tomorrow, if I get an offer, say, from Waitrose to do it, I know I wouldn't have the audience, the money, and the contribution to support that listing. Once we establish that customer base, then we can transfer that data that we have to show the retailer and say, hey, people buy this despite this price range.
Okay. I said I was going to tell you where I am, but I won't.
Mark brings Peter Jones back from the brink of an exit by citing a well-thought-out reason for delaying his product's introduction into the big supermarkets. Now, Sarah Davey wants to know the beer brewer's recipe for increasing sales.
How are you acquiring your customers online at the moment?
So far, what's worked really well is testimonials, like what our customers have been saying. And once we sort of cap those reviews on our advertisement and on our page, people really respond to that quite well.
I'm trying to understand why I would buy this. What we've got here is a 0 alcohol beer, and then it adds a little bit of calming or nutrition, and I'm not sure those two sit together. Why am I worried about getting my nutrition delivered through a low alcohol beer?
Because it's not about delivering nutrition. For example, if I put in vitamins in there, it just wouldn't make sense, right? Like, it's just, why would you want to have your daily vitamins in your beer? And it just so happens that this is a beer that uses plants that help you unwind and relax, rather than a low alcohol beer with added stuff in it.
That was a really good answer.
Oh, thank you. Mark, I think you've been full of really good answers. Your presentation's been impeccable. Peter was clearly about to go out, and then you rescued him. Deborah had a really great question there, and I think your answer was superb. So then my focus comes to the product, and I think, is it the best non-alcoholic beer I've ever tasted? Probably not. And then I think about the Shelf Wars and the Brewdogs of the world, who all have their non-alcoholic options, and I think it's going to be incredibly difficult for you to go through that sort of retail route. You know, you're going to figure it out, but just not with me as an investor. I'm going to say that I'm out.
Stephen Bartlett thinks the beer business is a battleground best avoided and pulls out of a potential deal. Does Tuka Suleiman see any synergy with the entrepreneur's enterprise?
You are the most credible 24-year-old that's ever walked through those doors.
Thank you.
It's a shame that you didn't walk through with a bit more traction. Let's say 200,000 turnover. That is a stumbling block in my head, in an area that I'm not too familiar with. But I would say this to you, if ever you have another business that I am familiar with, I would definitely back you. Unfortunately, in the beer venture, I'm out.
I think the product's great. I think you're clearly a great beer brewer. But I don't know if that price point's going to work outside of a 10 grand test, which is where we're at today. We're literally just at 10 grand's worth of sales being made. Mm-hmm. So, regretfully, I'm not going to be able to invest today. I'm out. I do think you have got a business here, and I think you're going to win a section of the market. There is a but coming here. I think you're going to get a lot of one-off purchases. And when you get a lot of one-off purchases, it becomes really expensive to acquire new consumers online. I'm afraid I'm not convinced, so I won't be investing. I'm out.
4 Dragons have now called time on the light lager proposition. Only Peter Jones remains. Is he hanging around to propose a partnership?
You've done everything right. You've pitched at the right amount. You've answered the right questions. Normally we're saying, why don't we just have a punt and let's see where this goes? But the reason why I'm stopping is ultimately it comes back to penetration against the product, positioning and price. So I think you have a nice little business for you, but it's not as exciting as the taste of the beer. So sadly for that reason I'm going to say that I'm out. But good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Peter Jones likes the beer more than the business and bows out. But although Mark is leaving the den empty-handed, he's far from bitter about the whole experience.
I thought it might be too early for them, and I think that's right, but the lessons learned there, I think it will really help us moving forward.
Oh well, cheers guys.
Cheers. I'm quite happy we'll have what I've achieved so far, being 24, and I think there's still a lot more to come, and I can't wait.
Right, off to have some bananas and a bit of orange juice on the turn.
Next to enter the den are Rob Angel and Debbie Greaves, a husband and wife team whose first foray into entrepreneurship came a little later in life.
Rob and I were both teachers. We got our retirement package, and a lot of our friends have used that to build an extension in their kitchen or to travel overseas. We decided that we would invest this in a business. They're trying to look mean.
But they want to invest.
What do you think, matey? Who would you go for?
You are the boss, after all.
When it comes to pitching their product, Rob and Debbie certainly know their roles.
He's brilliant on the numbers. And he likes me to do the fluffy stuff.
It's not fluffy. You just better at it than me.
I think it's a doggy backpack.
Senor.
Have you got your lucky underpants?
I have indeed.
But will the Dragons see their doggy offering as anything more than a pet project?
Good luck. Hello, I'm Debbie.
And I'm Rob. This is Maisie. We are here today seeking a £35,000 investment in exchange for a 10% share of our business.
If you've ever owned a dog, you'll know that Your pockets are full of treats and poo bags and, well, all sorts of unmentionable stuff. We wanted a bag that we could use when we were out on our walks. We looked online, we went to pet shops, we even went to Crufts, but we couldn't find anything. So we set about designing our own.
And so was born the barking bag.
The smart design includes a breathable side pocket big enough to carry a water bottle. There's a poo bag dispenser. There's an easily accessible treat pocket. There's even a side pocket in which you can put the unmentionable stuff until you can reach somewhere safe to dispose of it. Now then, would you go and like to see these nice people over here?
You have some treats on your boxes.
Over there.
Maisie,
Go and see Peter.
sit. Paul.
A range of multifunctional dog walking bags is the offering from husband and wife duo Rob Angel and Debbie Greaves.
Shake a paw now and seal the deal.
Sit, Maisie.
The entrepreneurs are asking for £35,000 in return for a 10% equity stake in their business.
In a moment, we'd love to take your questions. But for now, it's time to take Maisie for a walk, all the way to the lift.
Okay.
Do you want to take us to the
Yeah,
lift?
we'll take it to the lift.
All right.
By combining fashion and pets, the pair have walked right into Tuka Suleiman's world. But it appears he's wondering who else is taking a bite out of the doggy bag market.
Okay, what's your competition?
If I'm honest, Tuka, there isn't a great deal of competition out there.
Is there some competition?
There isn't a comparable bag.
Can I just say,
There are-
I'm a dog owner. I have a shoulder bag that I use. And I put everything in there. And I bring the toys, snacks, I bring the doggy bags, I bring all of the things you've put inside your bag. And I'm not using your product. So clearly there is competition, which is a bag.
Yeah.
I'm guessing your elevator pitch to the world is that this is more bespoke. The problem I then have, if that is your answer, and sorry for answering for you, is when I go on my dog walk, I have a style preference. And because you present this in a certain style, you'd exclude me just on that basis.
Stephen's point, I think it's an interesting one because just visually looking at you now, you definitely look like a dog owner.
Yeah. I've got no problem with that.
You know,
I'm a proud dog owner.
And that comes across.
Yeah. People like different things, and I get that. But there's one or two features on our bag that you don't get on others. There's a place to carry I bet that doesn't fit on your bag. It is designed for purpose.
What is the demographic of your customers? And what age group?
It varies, I have to say. The biggest chunk is between 20 and 40, that kind of age range. And when we went to our very first show, people were coming to our stand and they were saying, "Oh, I found you at last. We've been looking for you on Instagram." And I was going, "What's Instagram?" I didn't know. And when people talked about TikTok, I thought it was a clock. I wasn't with it at all. I'll be honest, I really didn't.
I've got to be honest as well, Debbie. I don't think a 20-year-old Instagram-centric millennial is going to be wearing these bags.
They are.
I'm sure there's
They
one.
are.
I'm sure
No,
there's
not
one.
All the dog walkers are telling their friends. They're putting out Instagram feeds saying, "This is me with my dog."
I'm sure there's one or two. Yours is like a 10 out of 10 utility and a 4 out of 10 fashion.
So you've given it a 4 out of 10? My mum's going to love this.
Your mum, how old's your mum?
She's only 58.
Okay, I'm a single 28-year-old guy trying to find a girlfriend. That's not going to help me.
My daughter's out the back.
Stephen Bartlett may be looking for love, but his heart doesn't appear to have skipped a beat just yet over Debbie and Rob's range of bags. Retail king Tuka Suleiman now wants to focus on the cost of the canine accompaniment.
This bag costs how much to make? Your best seller?
Our best seller is the khaki
khaki
bags
one,
there. Would cost us £11.85.
Pounds?
Yeah.
That's expensive.
There is an additional cost, obviously, with the freighting and the duty as well on top, and that would add probably another £3.
Well, look, if you made that in volume in China,
Yeah.
$5, $6.
Yeah.
So what do you sell it for?
We sell that particular bag for £35.
Now, I've got 4 dogs, take them out for a walk regularly. The bit I actually really do like where you can put your used poo bags because it drives me mad when you walk through the countryside and see plastic bags hung on trees. I don't know who they think is going to clean up after them. It's generally me, but that drives me bananas. So that is a really nice feature.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to have a decent business here. But I don't think it's a big enough business to take on board an investor. It is very specific for very specific people, and it's got too many reasons to discount And I'm afraid for that reason I won't be investing. I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
Disappointment for Debbie and Rob as they lose their first dragon. And it appears Peter Jones has some concerns about the cash that's needed to really push their pooch proposition.
I get the market, but you're going to have hundreds of thousands of pounds in your bank if you want to scale this business. But I congratulate you on getting a great business for you that will continue to do well. And particularly you, Debbie, your passion and energy is actually quite compelling for a business like this.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Debbie fronts up the business. She is the face of Bargain Bags. I'm the guy in the background doing all the accounts and the freighting and stuff like that.
Every business needs somebody in the background to clear up the dog poo.
Oh, that's a quotable one.
So I'm going to say I'm out, but thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
As much as I love you guys as entrepreneurs, I don't think it's an investable business for me based on my personal preferences and the scale of the market opportunity. So I'm going to say I'm out, but I wish you the very best.
Debbie and Rob's bag for dog walkers is struggling to collar any cash as 2 more dragons bow out of a deal. But it appears the queen of TV shopping, Sarah Davies, is wondering if she's spotted a possible pretender to her crown.
Debbie, how have you found this experience here with all these cameras, and how's that been for you?
Well, it's unnerving, obviously. We're passionate about the product.
Oh, I can
Probably
see
from the
you're
box.
passionate.
So you're kind of putting your baby out there and asking people to love it as much as you do.
There might be a reason why Sarah's asking you how comfortable you are on television, so I should focus on that.
So, my mum and that demographic of customer, they do a lot of shopping,
Okay.
watching TV.
Yeah.
This is a highly demonstrable product.
Right, okay.
And I think selling it off the shelf at retail is really difficult. Selling it in front of people, showing that passion, you're nailing it. And honestly, I could have you on there next week if you had the stock, because it is absolutely that demographic. Does that sound like something you could do?
It sounds scary as heck, but I'd love it.
I feel like you could do that. On that basis, I would like to make you an offer.
Thank you.
So I would offer you all of the money, all 35,000, but I would want 25% of the business.
Okay.
Sarah Davies sees a potentially profitable marriage of entrepreneurial passion and TV shopping and makes a bid for the business. Is the Den's sourcing and retail man, Tuka Suleiman, inclined to add this proposition to his burgeoning pet portfolio?
I believe you have a great brand. And I love Debbie's enthusiasm. I think there's a lot of work to be done. If it hung in a shop on a tag, it's a hard sell. I think your sourcing needs to be looked at.
Yeah. Could I just ask you a question before you say it? Do you mind?
Yes.
I just wondered whether you could open opportunities for us for new manufacturers.
Well, it depends what make you an offer.
Okay.
Ooh, Tuka, they want you.
I know. Look. I'm looking at this to say what's best for you. And I think the offer you've got is an amazing offer, especially when it means being on TV and showing the product. That's what it needs. So I'm not going to compete with Sarah, but I wish you all the best. I'm out.
Thank you.
He knows that he couldn't beat me. I just want to check you okay with flying.
Oh.
Because, you know, when we've got the TV nailed here in the UK, there's plenty of other TV shopping channels all over the world.
And we can prove everybody wrong, can't
And we can prove everybody wrong.
Do you want to go to the back wall and think about it between the two of you?
Yeah.
We will do, thank you. Yeah.
Tuka Suleiman steps aside, leaving the entrepreneurs to ponder Sarah Davies' offer of a jet-set lifestyle.
I think
Great opportunity.
it is a great opportunity, isn't it?
But in exchange for the £35,000, she's asking for 25% of their business, more than double the share they wanted to give away.
Shall we see if we can punch to 20?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Can the affable entrepreneurs claw back any equity?
Well, thank you for your offer, Sarah. Really appreciate that. Is there any way perhaps we could go?
That's a really good offer. I add a lot to the table, and I think 25% is a small price to pay for that.
Yeah, we'd like to accept your offer.
Well done.
Thank you, Sarah.
Good. Awesome. Good. Brilliant.
Thank
Well
you.
done, guys. You did great.
Well done.
The entrepreneurs have done it. giving themselves a £35,000 deal.
Well done, Deb. You're so good at fronting it up.
Oh, no, it was surely the underpants that did it.
They head home to put Rob's good luck garment somewhere safe and ponder Debbie's new career in TV shopping.
I might be travelling all over the world selling bags. It's bizarre. I don't know what my family are going to make of it when I get home.
We hope it doesn't go to your head, Debbie. It becomes difficult to live with.
More difficult to live with.
First, I thought you were barking mad, but it all makes sense to me.
Yeah, perfect.
She's going to be brilliant on TV. And I don't want any wisecracks of you, Mr. Bartlett, when you see me out and about. Either me or my mum.
Since the Den first opened its doors back in 2005, the multimillionaire dragons have done their best to get to grips with items they're probably not too familiar with these days. Cleaning products, from sprays to tablets.
In true Blue Peter style, here's one that we made earlier.
And even cleaning contraptions that have had them in hysterics.
I'm sorry, but I'm just laughing because it just looks very complicated.
I assure you it's not.
In 2016, Gianavelli's product to keep clothes clean from spillages immediately caught the attention of the Dapper Dragons.
As you can see, liquids simply bead up and roll off, even on this suede shoe.
Gianna was determined that his presentation would make a splash, and to this day he's still the only entrepreneur to finish his pitch from a paddling pool.
Together, we can make Liquidproof a household name.
That's brilliant. It's the first pitch I clapped at, anyway.
If there's one household item that's notoriously difficult to keep clean, it's the toilet brush. But apparently not so for the version Tom Keane brought to the Den in 2019.
Flush Brush is a detachable toilet cleaner whose head resides inside the toilet, underneath the rim, where water passes over it with each individual flush.
Peter Jones found the information coming his way a little hard to digest.
You're saying the very reason that you've invented this
Yeah.
was a little element of cleanliness.
Mm-hmm.
But that's already in the toilet, very close to where you're going to be.
Sure.
And it's not going to be totally clean, because that's never going to clean the brush. You're going to end up trying to, oh my God, I've got to get some marigolds on and pull it out and clean it. That's the concern that I have, because I've cleaned a few toilets.
Sure.
And you do get a bit of a mess on the brush. I don't understand how that magically gets rid of all the poo.
If you routinely have that problem, I would suggest perhaps replacing the head.
I thought you were going to suggest he changed his diet.
Maybe.
You can always rely on me to get down to the point, trust me.
From toilets to teenagers. In 2016, the Den's youngest ever entrepreneur, 15-year-old Arminda Dillon, came in with a product he had invented to clean his own muddy football boots, the Boot Buddy. Big brother Gamindo did the demo.
You fill up the water, then when you wish to use it, unlock the head and away you go.
They say a mother's love knows no bounds, but when it was revealed that Mum Rajpal had spent nearly £250,000 getting her son's product to market, Nick Jenkins wanted some answers.
What did you spend it on?
The intellectual property, below 150.
I'm sorry, did you say you spent £150,000 on the intellectual property?
Below, just below.
That's an enormous amount of money to have spent on something quite simple. Enormous.
But that was all brushed off when the Dillons scored a hat-trick with a 3-dragon deal.
Oh, great.
The man of the hour.
Fast forward to the present day, and engineer Lewis Clays from Liverpool is hoping his cleaning solution will get the same result.
My product, it's cutting edge, it's revolutionary. I'm pretty confident I will walk away with investment today.
Will his belief in his business be shared by the Dragons?
Hello, Dragons. My name's Lewis Clays, and I'm the founder of Opal. I'm here today to ask for £85,000 in return for 20% equity. Opal Eco is a new, revolutionary company offering a truly unique, broad-spectrum, all-in-one cleaner and disinfectant. Now, understandably, the world's increased consumption of disinfectants is crucial at this moment in time to safeguard us from COVID-19. However, of course, there's an environmentally secondary cost to consider. For years and to this day, we have relied on heavy industrial chemicals to fight off these pathogens. So, using the same organic acids produced in plants, our biologists
have combined innovative modern science with millions of years of plant evolution. We're on a mission to completely revolutionise the industry, creating products which are safer and kinder to families, and the only planet we have to call home. Thank you. So I'm going to do a short demonstration.
What is that you're rubbing off there?
A mixture of tomato sauce, brown sauce. Then once clean, we'd like to reapply the disinfectant so it's got a longer contact time. It can be left to air dry.
I can smell it from here. It smells nice.
I'd now like to open the floor to any questions.
An eco-friendly disinfectant is the offering Liverpudlian Lewis Clays is hoping will mop up an £85,000 investment in return for a 20% equity stake in his business.
Good pitch.
Peter Jones gives a verbal thumbs up for Lewis's presentation. But is all fingers and thumbs getting the product out of the box?
There's always one, isn't there?
Tuka Suleiman is first up to the plate, and he wants to find out more about the man behind the bacteria-busting spray.
Lewis, Tuka, prior to this, what were you doing?
I'm an engineer by trade, working on some big nuclear power stations.
Whoa.
But I started a side hustle a few years ago, selling products online on Amazon.
Yep.
And then it got to 2019, my wife was about to give birth to my son. And the next big jobs were down south in Hinkley Point or up north in Sellafield. And the Amazon thing was doing enough to sustain a living. So I left my job and ultimately I was closer to home then as well.
So you're an Amazon expert?
Yes.
Self-sufficient?
We can do it, yeah.
Good.
100%.
So I know a little bit about this market,
Yeah.
just because we have a lot of pictures around this space here in the Den.
Yeah.
In what way are you different to what we might have seen before?
Okay. The disinfectant, basically, there's a lot of eco brands currently now. None of them can offer an antibacterial disinfectant to that level. And the fact that we're dermatologically tested and active for 24 hours.
So it's the fact that you're cleaning, but leaving the disinfectant on afterwards. So it's continuing to protect that surface for a lot longer.
Yes.
Right, that makes a lot of sense. That would be a really great opening line, then you'll have me next time.
Never, next time.
Brilliant, right. So, how long has your business been established?
So it's been on since December, but the last 3 months counts as for 80% of our sales.
Okay, so what have those sales been?
Just over 17,500.
17.5 grand.
At the moment, you've come in here with 400 or 500,000 pound valuation.
425.
Whatever it is, on a 17,500 pound turnover.
The 17,500 is only 3 months worth of growth. Ideally, I'd come here with a year's worth of data, but with the 4 months, I thought that was a good valuation.
Having only managed modest sales to date, Tuka Suleiman questions the price tag Lewis has placed on his business. Green Queen Deborah Meaden wants to know who else is in the mix in the sterilising spray sphere.
What's your closest competitor in this particular, the disinfectant?
In terms of eco credentials,
So do Ecozone do one? Do Ecova do one?
They do antibacterial products, not a level of disinfectant like this. A lot of the eco brands are usually antibacterial. They don't really claim viruses as well.
Right. So if I decide I want to go out and make a product like this, what's to stop me contacting even the same scientists that you've worked with to do this?
Biocidal products, the disinfectant products, are not like cleaner products. You can't just go out and create your own one in a lab.
Well, you did.
I didn't create this formulation. I don't own the patent or anything to do with this. I'm a seller of the formulation.
Right. So are you the only seller of this formulation?
No, not currently. I did have exclusivity until a very few days ago. But due to Brexit, the company who owned the formulation had to be UK based, and the actual company behind this was a Danish company. So they transferred the ownership over to another company in the UK. So my relationship with the distributor didn't have the relationship with the new supplier.
Right.
Did you get me? This only came to light yesterday.
Lewis, that's a nightmare.
It was an absolute nightmare. So we managed to get the new company on Zoom. We had a discussion for like an hour and a half, trying to salvage it. But as you can expect, they only met me for an hour and a half. They weren't going to agree to that sort of exclusivity that we had arranged.
How can you turn it around?
I need to have more conversations with him. Prove me worth. If I can go back with a dragon, I've got a better leg to stand on.
Oh, Lewis, I feel for you. You're trying to make a living and you're trying to sell something, and you thought, you know what, I'm going to need more capital, I need to go on dragons. And what's really hit you hard is that you've had a call yesterday to basically take the rug right from under you, because you didn't want to cancel coming here, and yet with that action yesterday, you potentially haven't got a business. I really feel for you for yesterday. That's not a good call to have.
The revelation that Lewis has just lost the exclusive right to sell the formulation in the UK puts his pitch on a knife edge. And now Deborah Meaden wants to know how this bombshell affects the business proposition he's put in front of them.
What I'd like to understand is what you own. Do you own the brand?
I own the brand, yeah. I've got the
Right, so your business, as it stands at the moment, is to package up a product that you have hopefully temporarily lost the exclusive distributorship for, but you own Opal Eco.
Exactly, yes.
All right, so it's not catastrophic, it's a setback, but you can carry on your business because you can still buy the product, put it in the bottle and sell it.
100%.
Your business model changed yesterday.
Yeah.
Boy, do I feel for you,
yeah.
You know. But I'm sure you know, not having an exclusive deal has severely hit the valuation of your business.
Yeah, I believe this is a very unique element to an eco-friendly company and cleaner range.
Yeah, but the exclusive part of the deal, which says I've got this amazing product that is really hard to replicate and nobody else can do it because I've got an exclusive arrangement, is a very, very different proposition and therefore a very different valuation to a business that comes in here and says, actually, this product is readily available. What I've now got is a business that is branding it in a different way. And the value difference between those two propositions is enormous. Do I think for 1 second it's investment ready? I don't. I'm really sorry, Lewis. I'm afraid I can't invest, so I'm out.
Disaster for the entrepreneur, as his loss of an exclusive contract also leads to the loss of his first dragon. Will Lewis's precarious position also propel Stephen Bartlett to dismiss his disinfectant?
Lewis, I congratulate you on coming here today, and I think you'll make money from selling this because of you, because of your skills and your passion, and I can tell you're a hard worker. But I wouldn't encourage you to try and look for an investor, especially when your relationship with a distributor is so up in the air.
Yeah.
Because, you know, as much as that might give you kudos to secure that deal, it puts us at great risk as an investor if we give you our money and that exclusive arrangement isn't secured.
Yes.
I think you can sell a lot of these online. I think that's what we should focus on. Sell out, use the profits to buy more stock, keep doing that. But in terms of investment today, I'm going to say I'm out.
Look, you've got a lot of passion. I can feel it from over here.
Yeah,
you know?
yes, now to me.
I think the mistake that you actually made is coming in asking for 85,000. Honestly, if you come in and said, look, I just need a break, I need 25, 30,000 for the stock, I can get it, I can put it on Amazon, turn it into cash, that will give me my life support, I get it. Unfortunately, you've come in at a high level, and I'm going to say, for me, it's not an investable amount.
I'm struggling with it, Lewis.
I'm sorry.
And I'm good because you seem like a nice bloke. There's a couple of lads that I'm great friends with who've built a £25 million turnover business just doing what you're doing. Selling it online, building the brand, right? That's fantastic. But it's just not something that I am remotely interested in getting involved with. So I'm out.
The engineer turned entrepreneur gets personal plaudits but no partnerships as 3 more dragons decline a deal. Lewis's final hopes of securing the cash his business so desperately craves now rest solely with Peter Jones.
Do you know what? I'm not struggling with you at all. And I'm not going to give you a hard time because I think you're just unlucky. That happens, and that's okay. Thank you for being honest, but you, at the moment, you don't have a business until you go and secure that exclusivity, start getting traction, prove that you've got a business. So I'm going to say I'm out, but I really feel for you.
Good luck, Lewis.
Thank you all very much. Really appreciate your time.
Well done, Lewis.
Peter Jones ends his interest, and Lewis's hopes for investment are over. He leaves the den with nothing.
How unlucky is that? 24 hours before coming into the den, he loses his contract.
Bit deflated, but it's a learning curve. Got some great advice there, so I'll take that away with me 100%.
Last up tonight is London-based mum of two, Charlotte Morley, who's here with a business that's a world away from her previous career.
I wanted to do good, so I went to work in intelligence. I did a few crazy things. Probably the most crazy was flying into Iraq in the middle of the night in the back of a RAF Hercules, wearing body armour and a helmet. Honestly, I'm more scared about going into the den than I was about flying to Iraq.
It's a bit like my bedroom, to be fair. Only bigger clothes.
Some of them have got a slightly nastier bite than others, I would say. Hello, Dragons. My name's Charlotte, and I'm the founder of The Little Loop, the UK's first shared wardrobe for kids. I would like to pitch today for a £70,000 investment in return for a 7.5% equity stake. I have two children, Rosa and Edith. They said to tell you, hello, Dragons, please don't set Mummy on fire. Since Rosa was tiny, I realised that there was a huge problem with children's clothing. Every time they grow, or the seasons change, you have to replace them all. It costs a fortune, and you're left with piles of barely worn clothes that you have to dispose of. The Little Loop is reinventing this hugely broken wheel. Parents can choose from the best ethical and sustainable brands, keep the clothes for as long as they need them, and then swap them anytime. They'll save around 2/3 of the cost of buying new on average, and they'll have none of the hassle of sorting, storing, and selling clothes when they're done. The opportunity in this space is huge, and I would love it if one of you would join me on that journey.
A service for swapping and sharing children's used garments is a proposition from Charlotte Morley.
You do have a sample one of our parcels each.
She's seeking £70,000 in exchange for a 7.5% equity stake. Deborah Meaden is keen to find out how the clothing concept creates cash.
So, you've really clearly described the issues, but how do the financials work? How does the money flow?
So the consumer pays us on a subscription basis £18 a month in exchange for around about £165 worth of clothes. Most consumers swap about every 3 months, so they're getting about £600 worth of clothes for £200 so each year, so saving about £440.
Okay, and then of that £18, who gets what?
So the brands will take on average a 44% share of the revenue, and we take on average a 56% share.
Charlotte, I'm sure you know I've got two small kids.
I do.
I faced exactly this problem. We created our own little loop between my other mummy friends, but actually, if this had existed when I'd had my kids, I would have absolutely been right
That's
there.
the best thing I could have heard today. If I don't get an investment, Sarah, that's fantastic.
It just seems brilliant.
Thank you.
I don't understand a lot about the landscape for rental products, though. So are there any other successful business models you can kind of enlighten us with a little bit?
Sure. America's further ahead than we are in this. So Rent the Runway has been in existence for about 12 years, I think, and they're about to IPO for around about $1 billion.
And how are you going to achieve that level of success?
So in the next year, we'd like to get to 1,000 customers, which will take us to £135,000 revenue. Year 2, we're hoping to grow to 7,000 customers, which would give us a revenue of £950,000. And then in our 3rd year, we hope to increase to 30,000 customers, which would take us to a £4.16 million revenue.
Right, excellent.
Multi-million-pound projections in an untapped market, two things that never go out of fashion for Sarah Davies. Retail maestro Tuka Suleiman's business empire has clothing at its core. Is he sold on Charlotte's sartorial subscription service?
I love the dream, and I'm just trying to get into the reality of it all. You know and I know that children's clothes are much cheaper than women's clothes.
Yes.
So therefore, Secret here is having product that they can't get anywhere else. Or the opposite. You link up with somebody that's going to give you the product, a big retailer, who thinks they have a duty to be involved in this. So if a big retailer came on board, let's say H&M, Zara and Marks and Spencer's, said, we want to team up with you because it's the right thing to do, would you be against that?
Marks and Spencer's, I would be much more open-minded
You would?
to. Yes. I think that they have really great sustainable and ethical credentials.
That is music to my ears, because I am close to Marks and Spencer's. And look, I love the business, and I could probably add a lot of value to this, just from my connections. The question is, at what level? And I just want to wait and see when the other dragons are coming in.
Okay.
Tuka Suleiman dangles his little black book of contacts as a carrot, but stops short of making an offer. And it appears Peter Jones has picked up on some potential problems in getting the big labels in the loop with Charlotte's offering.
One thing that immediately hits me that I'd like to focus on is many brands that are growing today and have done. They want consumers to buy the next product as fast as they can. One thing they don't want is that product to go into the market and be used 5 times.
Honestly, at this stage, we don't want to work with those brands. Because of our messaging, because of who we are, we only want to work with ethical and sustainable brands at this point.
The next point that I have, though, is fast fashion. It's unprecedented. I cannot believe the price points of some of these products. So my concern is, how big could this bubble go without bursting because of pressure on competitive market price for product?
It's a really hard problem, and I think fast fashion, it can't continue like this for the sake of the planet. And I know that might sound idealistic, but even the government is moving in a direction of trying to make it so that fast fashion businesses cannot continue to produce clothes at that cost without paying a price for that.
Look, I think the message is absolutely great, but you are not going to see any movement, let alone a seismic shift in that marketplace, in my opinion, at all. I think the chance of that happening is beyond remote. So sadly, I'm out.
Peter Jones doesn't share the entrepreneur's expectations for a more sustainable clothing industry and becomes the first dragon to exit discussions. Social media savvy Stephen Bartlett has worked with numerous big-name high street brands, and he thinks the fashion world could be heading down a familiar path.
It almost reminds me of the music industry, where once upon a time you'd go and buy music for 99p and nobody wanted Spotify. There was no incentive at all for Warner and Universal to sign up to Spotify. But when something becomes inevitable, I think you get to the point where you have no choice. And it's funny because I've sat in the room with some of these big global fast fashion brands, and they're talking to me about creating their own secondary marketplace. Because all these secondary marketplace apps are now rising and taking such a huge amount of their market away that they're now thinking of creating their own. So I actually think this is inevitable.
Charlotte, I'm going to break cover. I think I absolutely love this. You know, it's a business that I think I actually want to be part of something that makes a difference. So I'm going to offer you all of the money, and I want 12.5% of the business.
Okay, thank you.
Deborah Meaden, a dragon driven by sustainability, becomes the first to make a plea for the proposition. But in return for the £70,000, she's asking for 5% more equity than the 7.5% that's up for grabs. And it appears Stephen Bartlett has spotted a synergy between the company and what he can offer the entrepreneur.
This business seems to have it all, right? So I've spent the last 10 years from Silicon Valley building tech companies, which got acquired by Amazon, to here in London doing growth for tech startups. That led to my company being funded. And in that time, I had the privilege of working on the marketing of a lot of big, major global fashion brands. So this is my wheelhouse, right? All over. I've just sold myself completely like a peacock. But I have no choice here because this is perfect for what I do. So I'm going to make you an offer. I'm going to offer you the full £70,000 for 15% of the business.
I love the business, but most of all, I think you are a fantastic entrepreneur.
Thank you.
And I believe I've got all the mentoring skills you need to take you on that journey. So I'd like to offer you all of the money for 12.5%.
Thank you, Sarah. That's kind.
Don't get me wrong, each dragon here can do a certain job for you. But I'm the expert in this field. So I'm going to make you an offer. I will offer you all of the money, but I want 15%.
Okay. Thank you.
To the wall.
4 offers for the clothing entrepreneur. But in exchange for the £70,000, Tuka Suleiman and Stephen Bartlett want 15% equity, double the 7.5 that's up for grabs, with Sarah Davies and Deborah Meaden each seeking 12.5%.
Thank you, Tuka. Thank you, Sarah. Deborah, you were the dragon that I came here for. I'd had a bit of a crush on you. In a purely platonic way.
You're negotiating at the moment. Take that back.
And also Stephen, because I do recognise how much experience you've got in growth. I'm going to ask something that I've never heard asked for in the den before. Would you both be prepared to invest all of the money? So £70,000 each, taking the total investment to £140,000 for 12.5% each.
I don't think it has happened in the den. See, that's why I like you, Charlotte. I would love to do that. It's really down to what Stephen feels. But I actually think you've got a very good combination there.
Charlotte, I think 10 out of 10. And just by adding Deborah Mead into your business, it becomes hugely more valuable. So on that basis, I would then increase my personal valuation of this business proposition, and therefore I'm willing to reduce my equity ask to 12.5% for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, Charlotte.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
I hope that's good tears.
Thank you. I would be delighted to accept. Thank you very much.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
Congrats.
An emotional end to the entrepreneur's pitch as her audacious move to ask for double the cash pays off, and she leaves the den with £140,000 and the backing of 2 dragons who can help turn her fashion business into the next big thing.
I can't quite believe what just happened. I'm really not sure. I think I'm in shock.
That was absolutely a moment.
What an amazing entrepreneur.
Oh my god, that was meant so much time.
The dragons that have invested are incredible. I'm just so excited for what we might be able to do together.
Can I just say I love you, Sarah? Sarah's actually sitting here with tears in her eyes.
Crying because she didn't pick me. That's why it is.
The den may have closed its doors for the night, but the dragons have certainly opened their coffers, dealing out nearly £200,000 on a sustainable rental clothing company and a range of multifunctional dog walking bags. Proof again that when the idea's right, these titans of trade aren't afraid to throw in the cash. Next time on Dragon's Den.
Be gentle with me.
What would you say about him?
He's a pain in the arse.
Have you ever considered being a Robbie Williams impersonator?
There's no way I'm going to get out of bed for 2%. Ridiculous.
Everything's about Instagram with him.
The world we live in.
I can't taste the alcohol.
You can add a shot of gin if you like.
I was actually going to team up with Tuka until he tried to steal your firstborn there.